the petition to remove the EC chair and the two deputies. No. First of all, there is no law that says that a citizen who is not happy with the performance of anybody occupying a statutory position cannot be petitioned to be removed. In fact, if you are, the very day you are put in any position, what you must bear in mind is that the Ghanaian, the taxpayer who is paying every month, will have the opportunity, if not he or she is not satisfied with your performance, to petition for you to be removed. And I am for such a system. Okay. I have also said time without number on this very particular platform that, contrary to the view held by some, I don't know whether in the majority or minority, that it should be difficult to remove, say, a Chief Justice, an EC officer, an IGP. I hold the view that it must be the easiest of things to be done. Easy. So that before anybody accepts to hold that position, he or she knows that with a little infringement, you could be taken off. And that all that we expect from them is to give us their maximum performance. Our constitution is so clear what the mandate of the Electoral Commission is. They are to register people of 18 years and above and of sound mind. I have even said that the Electoral Commission of this country have never satisfied this provision, sound mind. If they were going to go into how sound people's minds are, tell a lot of people will not be in the voter register.
Some might not even be presidential.
Absolutely. But I don't know if they think that they cannot use any means or mechanism to identify or determine who has a sound mind, the constitution must be amended and taken out of it. You had Akpalu, who wanted to be the president of this country, say that the reason why the helicopter crashed and 8 Ghanaians died was because cocoa prices were not increased to the levels that the people of this country were appreciated, and so the gods of the land were not happy, and for which reason 8 people had to die. This was someone that wanted to be your president, and he was registered to vote. It means there was a challenge with the sound mind. Senna, we have lived in this country. I have said time without number that if this administration was that mindful, they would have investigated election 2020. There should be a commission of inquiry into election 2020 to establish what actually took place for President Akufo-Addo to retain as the president, because I believe he lost the elections. I hold in my hand, and I'm also going to send a petition, by the way, to remove, not just remove Jane Adokwe Mensa, but also to investigate her. I hold in my hand a document or an indenture between the State Housing Company of Ghana and the Ghana Tourism Authority. You know, when you go to where she's living, Jane Adokwe Mensa is living, there is an adjacent property. That property belonged to the Ghana Tourism Authority. And in fact, that was where the current chief of staff, Julius Debra, was occupying when he was with the Ghana Tourism Authority. Go and find out who the owner of that property is now. I've done my search at the Lands Commission, and the name that pops up, Sarah, this country, few people want to search it. They want to steal this country from us, but we will fight it with the last blood available in us. For the national anthem of this country is on. God bless our homeland Ghana and make us what? Great and so bold to defend forever with all our will and might. When you go and do a search at the property that belongs to the Ghana Tourism Authority, as of 2020, just 2020, has been plotted in the name of who? Dr. Charles Mensa. Who is Dr. Charles Mensa? That's the husband of Jane Adokwe Mensa. And you see, we do all these things and we think that we are smart in the system. What did he do to be able to get this property? How the property landed in the hands of the husband of the electoral commissioner must be your concern. I'm going to write to the Ghana Tourism Authority to take steps, because that property belongs to the people of this country. Sarah, before election 2024, the Electoral Commission had told us that they had a robust system. Is that not the case? Any statement they issued, they ended it with a robust. So robustness became a household name. Remember the issue of Pusiga, where 38 names were transferred from Tamale Central and what? Sanerigu to Pusiga. Illegally. When we asked the Electoral Commission that have been telling us all this while that their system is so robust, what did they say? They said that happened because there was a certain software called liveliness that was not functioning properly at the time the incident took place. That is how it was allowed. This is clear cut of an institution that was so inept, that was so incompetent, and that must not, as it were, worry anybody's ear. As we speak, has the court not declared a rerun in Kandai? Has the court not done so? And what was the basis for the rerun? Because a certain district officer or returning officer who was put there by this commissioner, mind you, these returning officers are recruited by the commissioner, decided to do something against the provisions in the CI 127. Is that not the case? And the court says that based on the incompetence of the returning officer, an election has to be rerun. By so doing, is it not going to cause financial loss to the state? So why even on the face of this, the Electoral Commission, or for that matter the Electoral Commissioner, must not wait for any petition to say, as I promised you a robust system, I promised you a clean electoral process. I could not achieve that because I respect myself, because I've been with the Eiii that I've preferred all sort of solutions to our electoral system. I am resigning. We must cultivate that culture. She's still there drawing salaries. That is not enough. We had to go back to Ablekumanov. So now you remember what it was in Ablekumanov? Somebody had to dive like a fish to headbutt a woman. You remember that incident? What was it? The Electoral Commission, by extension, the electoral returning officer for Ablekumanov, came to tell the entire country that he could not produce his pink sheet, original pink sheet. Duplicate, they didn't have it. For which reason, there has to be a rerun, another willfully causing financial loss to the state. What about Obuasi East? You know what took place there? Where the returning officer said Samuel Abuajo of blessed memory won the elections, he had to go to court for the court to determine that no, it was Buachi Yado of the NPP that won the elections. And why are you not in this country? Another bet in Sawara Dujiri, same confusion, it had to be resolved. So if you are a country, and I keep saying that election 2024, you were saved by grace. For just a mere grace. Not that the Electoral Commission wanted to organize any proper elections and get a proper outcome. They had other ideas, but the will of the people, they say, is the will of God. That you cannot shortchange it. And so we were saved. We have been given a lifeline to right the wrongs of yesterday. You cannot therefore continue to go with such a person who had nobody in this country at heart except himself. Herself. I've already proven to you. And can you put one and one together? that you organize the symbolic elections of 2020. After that election, property adjacent to your own property, your own house, is now the bona fide property of your husband. You are in this country. Now, I heard my brother Sebe make certain analysis. I can understand it's difficult because I was in the MPP with him, and I don't even know why this morning he has to come and then carry the cross of people who don't deserve his sweat. The very MPP he's in, he's an outcast. In fact, he belongs to the Kenyan Japan faction. Now been described now as internal Yanum. They don't matter in the MPP politics. They are planning to rig them. Give them 15%. I've been advising him to leave the party as a decent and a very serious man. Let me tell you, he is a serious man and a serious mind. The petition that was sent recently has nothing to do with any supposed petition that has been sent. I'm not sure you saw that earlier petition that they claimed they sent. I don't think you have seen it. And nobody has come out to say that indeed a petition was sent in January. Even a media house decided to publish falsehood and run with it. We can also not go in that direction. What we know is that a petition has been sent. In any case, the impression must not be created that Bafu Boni has been put there to just be controlled. Nobody in this administration can control Bafu Boni. Bafu Boni will always do what is right. If the petition had been submitted probably during the time or tenure of Tokonu, then we can be making some of these analysis. Because Tokonu herself gave us enough reasons why she was not a neutral arbiter. Under her tenure, Afenyo Markins could go to court 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, he has an answer. That's what we experience in this country. Especially where people have been removed based on what? An electoral commissioner has been removed based on what? Procurement. Charlotte Osei. What this petitioner is raising is more grievous than Charlotte's occasion. So let's give the opportunity to Bafu Boni to do what is right for this country. If in the view of Bafu Boni, prima facie case cannot be established, I'll be the last person to support him to do otherwise. He only has to be fair. We can bring out the issues that some of us think that is wrong with the EC, but it is for him, looking at the law, to make that determination. That is why I am not the judge. That is why I am not the judge. Now, when that prima facie case is established, is the Chief Justice not going to establish a committee to look into it? Maybe the Electoral Commissioner can even engage your services as a lawyer to represent her at the committee, because at the committee, she will have access to what? Counsel. And that was precisely what took place with the Tokonu issue. When she had the benefit of going to the committee with about 4 lawyers, I'm told, present close to 10,000 evidence, they come out and come and do propaganda with us. Now, to deal with the issues of what you call political interference in our electoral system or commission. That is why, Senator, during the 2024 elections, I always pointed you to the Great Transformational Plan presented by the Movement for Change, which has been adopted as our blueprint as a united party. That we believe that there has to be the establishment of a second chamber. That second chamber must consist of people of valor, people that society see as representing our interest, so that they will be responsible for selecting, I would be, Ghanaians to be manning our various institutions, thereby taking out the political connotations associated with some of these appointments. Because whether I like it or not, as we continue to use this constitution, it will always be a president appointed. It will always be the president appointing these personalities. And mind you, presidents are always elected on the basis of political parties. So it will be very easy to color an appointment made by a president with his or her political affiliation. And that is why we believe that bringing in the second chamber will help to deal with this issue of partisan politics or political polarization of some of these appointments. Now, Senator, on the whole, I believe that there has to be a massive reform with the Electoral Commission. A massive reform even with the Constitution. It is this winner takes all attitude that informs various electoral commissioners together with their assigns within the system to try to want to change the will of the people. Changing the will of the people in election is more or less committing a genocide. It's more than genocide. Because if the people of, for instance, Pandai voted for candidate A, and a returning officer, through the stroke of a pen, decided to ignore all the hard work, the intelligence of all the people that took part in voting, and giving that power to a different person, that is committing a high degree offense. And that is why it's important that electoral officers or commissioners must always and always look at the interests of the country first, and not because of what they will get by shortchanging the process, go and do something that will not inure to the benefit of the entire country. I will end it here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, this time